Hey there, friends. Welcome back to another Legally Armed America video. I'm, of course, Paul Glasgow here, the one and only truth pimp, dealing you a vulgar display of logic and reason on a daily basis. Today's a little bit different story. It's one that we have seen a lot of as far as abuse of power, but it's in a little bit different way than what we're used to seeing when it comes to more specifically political appointees and judges, elected type officials. In this one, we got a judge who gets caught drunk in public. Her pants are down, urinating in public in a bush right on the street. And she's actually the calm one in the video. Let that sink in for a second. It's her husband who's the jerk. Arizona's now former Yavapai County Superior Court Judge Kristyne Schaaf-Olson, hyphenated name, was found behind a bush in downtown Prescott around 1:30 a.m. She was clearly intoxicated, embarrassed, and trying to cooperate. And to her credit, she did. She gave her name, talked respectfully to the cops, did not pull the "do you know who I am" card. Now, when I first read this story, my thinking was urinating in the bushes. I'm thinking like she ran across the street where there was a park or a wooded area and, squatted down to take a leak. And I'm thinking, no big deal. It looks like she just walked out the bar and about 10 feet from the front door decided to pop a squat, drop her drawers, and pee in the bush between the sidewalk and the street. I guess thinking nobody would see her. Let me play the video. I've edited the video down because it's pretty lengthy, but I wanted you to see some key points. And just as I prefaced here a second ago, remarkably, and I give the lady credit for this, not for being publicly intoxicated peeing in the street, but she didn't say, "Do you know who I am?" She didn't say, "I'm a judge. I'm a judge." Remember the chick who was the assistant AG, not the AG like she kept saying, but the assistant AG who was drunk in public? Yeah, she didn't play that. So kudos to her for not trying to say, "I am so-and-so," meaning you should give me a break. But her husband, I wanted to show you the clips. Her husband is an absolute jerk. And by the way, as you're watching this, I want you to know this as well. Her husband is, I think, like a parks manager, parks and recreation manager of that same area. So that tells you he has probably that whole complex thing where he's thinking, I can be a jerk to these people. Because look, you guys know my opinion on law enforcement. I don't cut them any slack because I do think a lot of these guys abuse what they're doing and how they conduct themselves. However, thought the law enforcement guys did a pretty good job here because the husband was the one being the jerk. The husband was the one that clearly had this in his mind. Okay, I'm the manager of somebody, like I'm locally connected to somebody, and my wife is a judge. I can do whatever I want, and I'm going to get off. Note the attitude of the husband in this video.
What are you doing? What are you doing? Why?
Okay.
What are we doing?
I'm waiting for an Uber.
This is disgusting.
I'm waiting for an Uber.
Okay, this is unacceptable. Where's your ID?
It's my husband's wallet. Walk that way.
Spell your last name.
Wilson.
You gotta spell it.
O-S-O-N.
O-L-S-O-N.
O-N.
Spell your first name.
Kristyne.
You spell it.
K-R-S-T-Y-N.
K-R.
I.
Okay.
S-T-Y. N.
What's your date of birth?
19.
Are you her husband?
Yep.
Okay. Can you hang out over by the cab for me?
Nope. Come on.
Yeah, you can, because I'm conducting an investigation.
For what?
Because I just saw her puking and urinating, exposing herself to several people.
That wasn't her.
Okay, you can go by the cab or you can continue to interfere with the investigation.
Come on, baby.
Okay,
No.
last chance, go over to the cab.
No.
Okay, well, then you're detained.
Stop.
You can't do this.
I'm gonna
I
fucking
can.
throw you on the ground if you resist.
Throw me.
I gave you several chances, and you don't want to listen.
We have a cab. Hey, baby.
515 1 resisting.
Stop.
I'm not doing anything.
Get your ass on the fucking ground, dude.
I'm not doing anything.
515, we're fighting.
I'm not fighting.
Grab the cuffs.
Here, I got it.
I can't breathe.
Just take these.
That way for you. Can you put me up so I can breathe?
Nope, you can get in handcuffs first, then you can roll over.
That's fine. Put me in handcuffs. Just let me breathe.
Five 15, we're code 4, 11015.
Can you put me up so I can breathe?
You're gonna give us a minute.
Well, one's left.
Stay right there.
Why don't you just listen, bro?
I'm listening.
You weren't? And then you want to resist. So you can go to jail.
Yeah, at least.
Let's, can you guys just identify him?
What?
Can we identify him?
Well, you know, my name is Judge Kristyne Olson.
Okay. Do you understand this was like totally unnecessary? That she was just going to get a ticket? And when an officer is giving you an order, that you should comply, not interfere with an investigation?
I do completely
And then when an
understand,
officer
but
goes
she
to
did
grab
not-
and detain you?
I'm the one that vomited.
Okay, regardless, I saw her with her entire underexposed peeing in that bush, as well
You
as
did
several
not.
other people. Okay. How were you able to get home from here?
He has my ID.
Well, we have that, so do you have a phone?
He had my wallet.
You don't have a phone?
No, he had my credit card.
So the phone next to you is not your phone?
But yeah.
Okay, so you do have a phone. So can you call someone to come pick you up from here? Taxi, Uber, Lyft, friend, family? Can we work on that right now? Okay, go ahead and make that call. I'm going to fill your ticket out. All right, this is your citation. It's a misdemeanor for urinating or defecating in public, okay? So you're going to have to sign it, promising to appear in court in about a month, all right? Your husband's going to be transported to the Yavapai County Jail. He'll be booked in there.
Am I signing for him or is that?
This is for you. This is your citation. So just grab that.
What was his citation?
He's going to jail for resisting and interfering.
I don't have to sign for that though.
Nope, that's all his business.
Okay.
So you just sign above that solid black line right there.
Okay.
Nope, right here on the screen. On the screen.
Well, on the screen.
Perfect. Thank you.
So do you agree the way the judge conducted herself, even though she was so wasted, not sure she could have even been a bitch? You know what I mean? I mean, she was like on the verge of not being conscious. She had a good, this is 1:30 a.m. by the way. So probably had a good 4 or 5 hour bender that they were on. Although the husband seemed like he might have been buzzed, but he didn't seem ripped like she was. Nevertheless, he was the jerk. I mean, you could pick up on that. I mean, this could have been a simple ticket, as the law enforcement officer said, could have written the lady a ticket. She could have probably gone and paid her ticket. I don't know if she had to appear in court or whatever, but it would have all kind of been swept under the rug, you know, not a big deal. And it would have been easy to sweep it under the rug if the husband hadn't showed his ass. But he had to. Again, I'm sure he told somebody somewhere at some point, my wife's a judge. Do you know who I am? And you probably noticed she was the one telling him to shut up. You know, every time she tried to calm things down, he threw gasoline on the fire. Eventually the cops had enough. They had no choice. I think they did the right thing, but drag him off in cuffs for obstruction and resisting arrest. Now, I know her name is hyphenated, so that makes me think she's possibly liberal. Doesn't mean she is, but she hyphenated her last name with her husband's last name. Not a big deal, but I'm saying, usually you can. I don't know what the lady's political affiliation is. I searched. There's no record of her Democrat, Republican. I will say this. I do think the way she conducted herself, again, I know she was massively wasted, so that could have had something to do with it too. But she wasn't belligerent, and I didn't feel like she was trying to throw her perceived authority. And I say perceived because I don't feel like they have any real authority when it comes to stuff like that. She didn't try to tap into her perceived authority. Now, let me back up real quick on that comment. They kind of have some authority, even though they don't control anything on the street. The fact that these people are connected in many cases is why they get off. Why she resigned, because she did resign. This lady has resigned since then. Actually, yesterday was her last day of work. That's really shocking to me. That almost makes me think she might even be a Republican, because Democrats would use this kind of as a stepping stone to usually a Democrat. And look, I don't, those of you, it's the same wing of a different bird, whatever. They are treated differently. And I agree both parties are corrupt, but they are certainly treated differently and scrutinized differently. A Democrat can take a leak in public like this and use it to launch a campaign. Some people will be, oh, I was downtrodden like that one time before. I'm now a recovering alcoholic, and I've done better. I've seen the error of my ways. Republican, on the other hand, can fart audibly in public, and they never recover from that. So they're treated very, very differently. So the fact that she resigned also tells me she's likely a Republican. And again, the way she conducted herself, not being belligerent or an a-hole, also tells me she might be somewhat of a decent person. Her husband, on the other hand, not so much. I think in his case, that's a perfect example of how power goes to some people's heads. The judge behaved better than most drunk civilians would have. She was ashamed, compliant. I felt like she was very cooperative. Her husband, the guy without the robe, without the real title, the one used to throwing his title around probably, acted like he was immune to consequences and like it didn't matter whatever he did because he was going to get his way no matter what. Remember that Rhode Island assistant AG that I spoke of earlier? I did a story on her a couple months ago when all of her stuff went down. She actually went to court. She got hammered pretty hard on that. Kind of funny that I use the word hammered because she was hammered in public and that's how she got where she was. But she was the one trying to throw her position around. In fact, just like the husband in this case, this assistant AG's friend was trying to use her friend's authority to get her way also, just like the husband was likely, I'm sure the husband threw around my wife is a judge. It's weird how it always seems to be the sidekick that makes things worse sometimes. And the sidekicks that really try to milk that position of their friend sometimes, again, to make a situation and a scenario way worse. And the outcome is never what they expect it to be, rarely, if ever. But I've always been bothered by how people in positions of authority seem to lose touch with not just reality, but accountability at times. Like they feel like they get to a point where they almost think that they are part of an elite class. And in some cases they kind of are, but I hate to give them that kind of power because it's really just a perceived power. Again, there's nothing to it. It's like a paper tiger. There's nothing really there. It's however much you yield that power to them is the power they have. Like you give them that power. When you treat them and put them on that pedestal, that gives them that power. They don't already have that power. You treat them like an equal, like they got no power. They are powerless over you and anybody else. It's only whenever you cede that power to them, you give it to them, you volunteer it to them, just because you're impressed by their title. That's when they become powerful. I think it's super important in every walk of life to treat everybody like an equal. Now, with respect, definitely with respect, but like an equal. You walk into a store, I don't think you should treat anybody any differently from the guy mopping the floor to the person who says general manager on his little name tag. Treat them all the same. Nobody worse, nobody better. Same goes with politicians. They all want to be put on a pedestal. They shouldn't be. They're just like you. They are just like you. They only have power, again, that you give them. When you don't give them that power, when you encounter them, whether it's through email, phone calls, or in person, when you don't give them that power, they know that because they are expecting you to surrender that power to them so they can be Billy Badasses in front of everybody. When you don't give it to them and you don't treat them like they're here, you treat them like they're here, they immediately know that. Because that's what they're seeking. They want that kind of stuff. So don't think it goes unnoticed. When you treat them as an equal, they know that you're treating them like an equal. And they feel like an equal at that point. And guess what? Now you still have that power. So you are at least as powerful as them, maybe more. Because you were the one that stood your ground and you brought them down. You devalued that person who had put themselves way up above you. Now you brought them down to that equal level. I think that's important. I think that's important in every walk of life. And again, I don't mean it just people who think they're above you. I think it's important we treat people who think they're below you also. They're not. Just because somebody's downtrodden or whatever, having a tough time, doesn't mean they're less than you. It just means they're where you might have been a few years ago or something like that. I think it's important. Look, it's the golden rule. And I think that golden rule is super, super important to employ in every single aspect of your life. In this particular case, the wife knew she had crossed the line and she immediately accepted it. Whereas the husband, well, he thought he was the line and he was challenging somebody to cross him. And guess what? They crossed his line. This guy seems like the habitual line steppers.
He's a habitual line stepper.
Yeah, that dude strikes me as a habitual line stepper. Most of the times, people like this with some kind of weird little position of what they think is authority, they always make situations worse. They just can't let things go without acting like, hey, do you know who I am? It's not the badge. It's not the robe. It's not the fancy title that defines a person's character. It's how you behave when the lights are on you and your power means nothing. In this case, didn't matter what he was, Parks and Recreation manager or whatever he was, who cares? Who cares? Your wife just got through peeing in public. You sat here and tried to lie to us and then fight with us. You're going to jail. Your little title meant zero. So yeah, Judge Schaaf-Olson, she resigned, and she should have. But if there's anyone who deserves a spotlight in this circus, it is definitely her husband, the walking, talking reminder that arrogance can ruin everything faster than alcohol. Bottom line is the judge was caught peeing in public, right? But the husband pissed away dignity, pissed away any form or amount of dignity that he might have had before he walked up and started running his mouth. It's a lesson to be learned. I truly believe that. If you're in a situation where it has not escalated, don't escalate it. I mean, what good is going to come out of that? Hate to keep using, it's not the time to get into a pissing contest. It looks like the wife won the pissing contest that night. Or maybe she lost it. I don't know. I will say this, and look, I watch these videos and they crack me up sometimes because you see people, and I've been drinking in public before, and there's been times when I've had too much to drink in public. I've never peed in public. But when she got busted, again, I was amazed to find out that it was right outside the door of a restaurant or bar. But when she got busted, she sits up with her drawers still down. She just, like she's butt naked. She got her bottom side on that bench. And then she's just calmly, as she's talking to the law enforcement officer, pulling her drawers up. That was amazing to me, right? Think of that next time you get tired and want to lay your head down on a park bench, or if you want to sit down on one. Be really cognizant of what might have been there prior to you getting there. This is also a reminder that not everybody can hold their alcohol as good as other women like Kamala Harris and Nancy Pelosi. It's funny how these Democrat women have mastered the art of controlling and taming their drunk asses, because she bare-assed that park bench like it was not a big deal. Friends, if you like the video, please share it with your friends. Tell them, hey, Paul over at Legally on America is dealing out some pretty good truth. Go check it out. Have them subscribe to the channel. Have them share the videos and have them like the videos just like you do all the time. If you think I'm wrong about this, I'm talking about this particular case here. Do you think that I'm cutting a little bit too much slack to the judge? Yes, I understand that she likely did these things maybe, thinking that she was a judge and would get off, but she never used that as an opportunity to say, do you know who I am? And I felt like that was a little bit, it's so weird saying, giving her credit for being respectful about something after she just got through urinating in public 5 feet, 10 feet from the door of a restaurant or bar. But it's true. She could have handled this a lot worse. This could have been so much worse to the point where we wouldn't have noticed the husband being a jerk. But am I wrong about this? Am I giving her too much credit? Am I cutting her too much slack? Or does she deserve to get hammered just as hard as I feel like the husband needs to be hammered? Don't forget, guys, if you're looking for a book to educate yourself and to educate the idiots out there who can't think for themselves regarding mass shootings, go to damnliars.net. Again, damnliars.net, and get my brand new book, Damn Liars.
I'm sorry, I thought this was America.
It's hanging